On my wedding day, I received a text from an unknown number. He's marrying you only because your profile looks like his dead first love. The glow of the screen stabbed my eyes raw. Before we go on, be sure to subscribe and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. The background music was the wedding march. The officiant was intoning with syrupy devotion. Vivian, do you take Adrian to be your husband, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health? Several hundred guests sat below. My parents, his parents, grinning ear to ear. My best friend Chloe, the maid of honor, stood closest to me, eyes rimmed red, face soft with emotion. Adrian, in a razor-sharp bespoke tux, faced me, head tilted slightly down. His gaze was deep, a tender smile playing at his lips, the same look that had always made the rest of the world vanish. Before, I would have drowned happily in that stare. Believed I was the luckiest woman alive. Now, staring at the sentence on my phone, every word felt like a needle tipped in venom, ramming into my heart. Vivian, the officiant prompted again, polite confusion creeping in. Adrian caught the shift too, his brows pinched almost imperceptibly. In a hushed, calming tone he murmured, Viv? What is it? Nerves? He reached out to tuck a stray strand of hair behind my ear. The gesture was effortless, intimate in the way I used to think was mine alone. Once, I adored these tiny attentions. Believed they were tenderness reserved for me. I jerked back, evading his hand. My stiletto heel scraped the polished floor with a shriek. The motion snapped my veil sideways. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Everyone froze. Stares, startled, curious, thrilled, locked onto me. Adrian's hand hung midair, the gentle smile cracked into disbelief. Viv? Below, the chairman's face had already darkened. My mother shot me frantic eye signals, mouthing soundlessly, Viv. What are you doing? I didn't look at them. I looked over Adrian's shoulder, drilling holes into Lo's face. The flush of sentiment still clung to her cheeks, yet a flicker of panic darted through her eyes, there and gone. Tiny, but big enough for me to catch. Minutes ago, before the processional, she was the only one who'd touched my phone. She'd said my makeup had smudged, insisted on retouching, and casually slipped my phone into her clutch. Then she accidentally dropped the bag, items spilled, she scrambled, and finally found my phone and handed it back. That text had arrived in that exact window. Timed like a Swiss watch. I kept my eyes on Chloe and crooked a corner of my mouth. So this is where the knife was waiting. Such a good best friend. Viv? Adrian's voice dropped, pressure braiding through it. Stop this. Everyone's watching. He stretched for my wrist, a hint of command in the reach. In the past, that move usually melted me. Not today. I dodged again, crisp and decisive. Then, under hundreds of staring eyes, I raised my hand. No hesitation. Smack. A sharp, ringing slap branded Adrian's handsome, stunned cheek. Dead silence. You could hear breath stop. The wedding march still blared, oblivious. I shook the tingle from my palm and, to the dazed officiant, and to every gaping guest, said, quiet but clear, anyone who wants this wedding can have it. I'm out. I yanked the veil from my head and hurled it to the floor. The white lace hit the dust like a discarded rag. I pivoted on the Jimmy Choos I'd bought to match the dress, heels that had already chewed my ankles raw, and walked away. Behind me, silence detonated. Then the chairman's roar, Vivian. Stop right there. Adrian's incredulous fury, Vivian. Have you lost your mind? My mother's teary shriek, Viv. Honey, what are you doing? And Chloe's fake sobbing cry, Adrian. Your face. Viv. You've got it wrong. Come back and explain. Noise. I tuned it all out. Hoisting my heavy train, spine straight, I strode down the rose-petaled aisle like leaving a ludicrous dream. The stiletto heels crushed scarlet petals, juice staining the satin. Outside the hotel's cold grandeur, early summer evening air slapped my cheeks, warm and dry. I inhaled. No champagne roses, no trace of Adrian's cool woody cologne. Only exhaust fumes. Real enough to make me want to cry. The phone buzzed again. Same unknown sender. This time, a photo. Grainy, years old. A tree-lined campus path. A girl in a white sundress, profile to camera, bending to tie her shoelace. Long hair cascading, profile delicate and soft. Sunlight filtered through leaves, bathing her in a painting-like glow. Captioned beneath, Julia. Adrian's first love. Died in a car crash 3 years ago. Look at her profile, then look in the mirror. Vivian, you're just a bargain bin knockoff. My hand shook so violently I nearly dropped the phone. Nausea surged. No wonder. No wonder Adrian spilled champagne the first time he saw me at that gallery. No wonder he loved watching me read with my head down. No wonder he claimed white was made for me. No wonder, drunk, he'd trace my cheek, eyes vacant, whispering syllables I couldn't catch. Loon. I'd stupidly thought he was murmuring Viv. A frigid fist clamped my heart, I couldn't breathe. Bargain bin knockoff. The words branded themselves into my soul. I braced against the cold wall and dry heaved, bringing up nothing. Only tears, sudden and torrential. Not for Adrian. For me. For the 3 years I'd offered my heart like a clown. A black Mercedes S-Class glided to the curb. The window slid down. George, my father's stone-faced driver, looked out, worry threading his voice. Miss, the boss and madam asked me to take you home. George had chauffeured me since childhood. I swiped my face, pulled the door open, climbed in. Seaview, I croaked, throat shredded. Seaview, our marital estate. More accurately, the mansion Adrian bought for our new life, titled in my name, his good faith gesture outside the prenup. George met my eyes in the mirror, swallowed whatever he wanted to say, and led away. The car left the chaos behind. My phone exploded with notifications. Adrian's name pulsed on screen. I powered it off. Silence. Seaview sat in the city's priciest enclave. The biometric safe chirped, the heavy door swung open. Vast crystal chandeliers showered cold light. The living room echoed like a museum. Every stick of furniture, every trinket, Adrian had selected. He'd promised me a perfect home. Now it looked like an altar consecrated to a ghost, and I'd been the clueless sacrifice. I went straight to the second-floor study. Adrian kept hard copies of all vital documents there, his obsession with control. I yanked the bottom drawer, keyed safe. Password? My birthday. Error. Our so-called anniversary. Error. I stared at the cold numbers. The text echoed, Julia. I typed her birthday. I only knew her name, yet my fingers, possessed, punched in a string Adrian had murmured drunk, certain it was some lover's milestone. Click. Opened. Folders, neatly stacked. One cream binder labeled, Moon. Adrian's slashing handwriting. I drew it out, fingers numb. Inside. Hundreds of photos. Julia. Every angle, every light. Beneath them, printed sheets. Birth date, family, schools, hobbies, medical charts. She'd had congenital heart disease all her life. Last page, a Graves grant funding cardiac research, initiated 3 years ago. The year she died. Signed by Adrian, dated 1 month after we became official. So even after we met, he kept feeding that devotion. In the corner, a navy velvet ring box. I recognized it. The one he'd presented at our proposal. Inside lay a ring. Old style, platinum band, tiny diamonds circling a small teardrop sapphire. Delicate, dated, nothing like the rock he'd given me. On the base, a slip of paper, Moon, happy 18th, may my girl forever be star and moonlight. Adrian. 8 years ago. Her 18th birthday. He'd saved it, locked beside our documents, ready to eye every time he worked. My priceless custom rock? Probably boxed with cold tracks in some vault. The nausea surged again. I ran to the bathroom, hugged the toilet, vomiting until everything went black. When I stood, mascara streamed, hair matted, designer gown smeared with rose gore. A broken doll discarded after the show. That was Vivian? The unique, life-lighting, Vivian praised? Pathetic. I twisted the faucet, icy water slapped me sober. Replacement? Flip the table? Not enough. I torched the whole tableau, lies, schemes, everything, to ash. Phone back on. Missed calls and messages barraged. Adrian's texts ranged from furious, Vivian, you'd better explain now, to threatening, you know what you're risking. Come back or pay for it. Then softened into his signature snare, Viv, I know you're upset. Let's talk. I can explain. It was a sick prank meant to ruin our wedding. Whoever sent it, you fell for it. Be good. Stop making a scene. I'll be home waiting for you. Explain? I stared at that last line, I'll be home waiting for you, and let out a cold laugh. Home? This cage soaked in another woman's shadow? I swiped every one of his messages away. Opened Chloe's. Vivian. You scared me to death. Where are you? Are you safe? Send me the address, I'll come get you. Adrian's going crazy. His face is swollen. But he says he doesn't blame you, just come back. Vivian, did someone tell you something? Don't believe it. We all see how much Adrian loves you. That text has to be fake. Pick up. I'm dying here. Every word, every line, dripping with earnest concern. Such a devoted best friend, heartbroken for me. I typed back, face blank, Chloe, Seaview. Now. Come alone. Send. Then I dialed my father. The call connected almost instantly. My dad, Victor, came roaring through the speaker. Vivian, you little brat. What the hell are you pulling? Hundreds of people watching. You humiliated the Graves family. You made me lose face. You, Dad, I cut in, voice eerily calm, the deed to Seaview, is it in your safe? The roar screeched to a halt. He hesitated. Why yeah. Why? It's the premarital property Adrian gave you. I locked it up, safe and sound. Good. I drew a slow breath. Dad, I need you to do two things. First, right now, call attorney Zhang, our family lawyer, take the original deed, go to the city clerk's office, and list Seaview for sale. Market's lowest price, fast cash. Second, freeze every account in my name that has Adrian's fingerprints on it. The car he gave me, the authorized user card, lock them all. My father was utterly floored. Sweetheart? Are you serious? Not just throwing a tantrum? That location is prime. Adrian poured serious money, Dad. My voice cracked like a whip, final and absolute. No amount of his money can buy back my dignity after 3 years of being his circus monkey. Do exactly as I said. Right. Now. Silence for a few beats. Then I heard him suck in a lungful, voice dropping to the protective growl I knew by heart. Deal. Nobody messes with my girl. Doesn't matter if he's heaven's own son or a damn Graves. Sit tight, pumpkin, Dad's on it. Thanks, Dad. My nose stung, but I held the tears back. I hung up, feeling half my weight lift. My old man might look careless, but when trouble knocks he moves like lightning. With him handled, I called Mom. Helen's voice was shaky with tears, mostly worry. Sweetheart, my baby, what happened? Did Adrian hurt you? Tell Mama. I'll fight for you, don't be scared. Mom, I soothed, still firm, I'm all right. Listen, go to my room, grab the small padlocked rosewood box in my nightstand. The key is inside the right desk drawer, wrapped in blue velvet. Inside that box sat a photocopy of the addendum Adrian had signed before the wedding. It spelled out that if the marriage collapsed because of his fault, cheating, abuse, whatever, he would forfeit his share of communal property and pay me a jaw-dropping emotional damage settlement. Back then he'd been all tenderness and reluctance, claiming his father insisted, a test of my love. Huggy. Ing me, he'd whispered, silly girl, what does signing matter? I'll never give you reason to use it. I believed him. Looking back, it might be the only thing he never lied about. That addendum is my nuclear warhead. Mom, once you have the box, photograph the agreement. Hide the hard copy. Send me the photos. After that, ignore everyone, especially anyone from the Graves family or Chloe. Not a single word. Mom was still sniffing, but hearing me calm and clear steadied her. Oh okay. I understand. I'll do it right now. Baby, please stay safe. Mom's so worried. I'm better than okay, Mom. I've never been clearer. I stared at the woman in the mirror, eyes icy and razor sharp. The curtain has only just risen. Half an hour later, Chloe burst into Seaview, gasping for air. Her bridesmaid makeup was still perfect, but panic and guilt blazed in her eyes. Vivian. She saw me sunk in the living room's massive sofa, still wearing that dirt-streaked wedding gown, and hurled herself at me, tears on command. You scared me to death. Where did you go? Adrian, you sent that text. I cut her off, voice flat. Not a question. A statement. Chloe's expression froze. Tears hung on her lashes, undecided. She averted her gaze, stammering, what text? I don't know what you mean. Before the ceremony started, you were the only one who touched my phone. I studied her like a bad clown. Chloe, how long have we known each other? 10 years? When you lie, your left forefinger picks at your right palm. Still doing it? Chloe jerked her hands back as if burned, fisting them. All color drained from her face. Her lips trembled, hunting for an excuse. Julia, I said. Chloe's head snapped up, pupils pinpricks of raw horror. How do you know her name? She blurted. How isn't important. I rose and walked toward her. The gown's train scraped the marble with a soft hiss. In this cavernous, silent mausoleum, every whisper echoed. What matters is why you chose today to tell me, using that method. Chloe backed up until the cold wall stopped her. Her eyes swirled with fear, resentment, and something reckless. Why? I asked. Her mouth twisted into a bitter grin. Because I've had enough. Vivian. Watching you stumble around clueless, watching you, thanks to a similar profile, claim everything that should have been hers. Adrian never loved you. He loved her. Julia, who's been dead 3 years. You're nothing but a cheap stand-in who got lucky. Every nice thing he did, every tender word, he funneled through you to her memory. Did you know he even picked your perfume because it was Julia's favorite? He looks at you but sees someone else. Doesn't that disgust you? Don't you pity yourself? She screamed herself hoarse, years of venom gushing out. I listened without twitching a muscle. When she finally stopped, panting, I spoke, voice calm enough to freeze blood. So, Chloe, you're telling me this out of noble sympathy? Righting my wrongs? I took another step. Or, because you're in love with Adrian yourself? Have been for years, only to watch him marry a knockoff? Chloe jolted as if I'd stabbed her secret center. Panic replaced the venom in her eyes. Why, you're talking nonsense, she denied, voice hollow. You know whether it's nonsense. I smirked. The way you stared at him in college, the secret photos you saved on your laptop, you think I never noticed? You latched onto me, played best friend, just because I was Adrian's girlfriend, your shortcut to feel closer to him. Pity, I added, tone soaked in scorn. You, Chloe, don't even qualify as a stand-in. In Adrian's eyes, there's only his white moon. Dead or alive, it'll never be your turn. Shut up. Shut up, Vivian, she shrieked, lunging like a rabid animal, nails aiming for my face. I was ready. Sidestepped, stuck out my foot. Ah! Her heel caught in my gown's hem, she tripped over my waiting foot and crashed to the carpet with a thud. She lay sprawled, hair a mess, sequins popping off her expensive dress. I looked down as if studying trash. Chloe, don't provoke me again. My voice was arctic. I'll let today, including that text, slide for now, on one condition, you zip your mouth. If you dare gossip, or help Adrian come after me, I crouched, whispering each word against her ear, I'll bundle every piece of evidence that you skimmed company project funds to pay your gambling brother's debts, and email it to your boss, with a courtesy copy to Adrian. Wonder how he'll view his sweet, innocent little protege then? Chloe's body went rigid. She raised her head, face the color of paper, lips trembling, terror devouring her voice. I straightened, dusting non-existent lint from my fingers. Now, I said, get lost. Chloe scrambled out of Seaview on all fours. The door slammed. Silence poured back in. I collapsed onto the sofa, the adrenaline gone, my whole frame shaking. My phone buzzed, Mom's message. Photos of that addendum. Black on white. Adrian's flamboyant signature razor sharp. My nuclear weapon, locked and loaded. Immediately after, Dad called. Pumpkin. House is listed. Zhang handled it himself, rock-bottom fire sale price. The minute it hit the system agents rang off the hook. They're saying it's basically free real estate. His voice gleamed with glee and grit. Accounts frozen, just like you ordered. Adrian's little side card, declined. The car he bought you, safely locked in our garage, keys in my pocket. Beautiful job, Dad. I managed a thin smile. By the way, his tone darkened, Adrian called, all tough talk, said you're being childish, demanded you come apologize or face the consequences. Huh. I told him if he wants trouble, bring it to me. Chairman phoned too, that sly fox, lots of concern wrapped in threats, saying youngsters shouldn't jeopardize family partnerships. Asked me to talk sense into you. Pfft. Think the Mercers are pushovers? Honey, don't worry. Dad's your Iron Dome. Sky falls, I'll prop it back up. Thanks, Dad. You and Mom lay low for AC. Upple days. Don't let them corner you. I'll sort the rest. Relax. Your old man's weathered bigger storms. I'd barely hung up when the doorbell shrieked. Urgent, demanding. I checked the video intercom. Outside stood Adrian. He'd traded the morning's tux for dark casuals, face storm black. The red print of my slap still stained his left cheek. Behind him, two burly security men wired with earpieces, definitely not here to negotiate. I smoothed my tangled hair and dirty gown, drew one steadying breath. What must come, comes. I pressed open. The carved mahogany door swung wide. Adrian surged in, thunder wrapped in skin. The guards planted themselves like twin iron lions. His razor gaze swept the living room, lingering on my ruined gown and disheveled state. The gloom in his eyes deepened. Vivian, he bit out, voice ice-crusted steel, are you done with the tantrum? I lifted my eyes, silent. Come back with me. An order, pure Adrian autocracy. The guests are still there. Walk down that aisle. We'll pretend nothing happened. Pretend nothing happened? I laughed, sharp and incredulous. Adrian, what's your face made of? City wall concrete plated in titanium alloy. Adrian's face went the color of wet slate. In probably every second of his privileged life, no one had ever jabbed a finger at his nose and cursed him raw. Vivian. He stalked forward, his broad frame eclipsing the chandeliers. I'm saying it one last time, come back with me. Don't make me resort to force. The two security men behind him inched forward in perfect sync. The threat was unmistakable. Force? I arched an eyebrow, meeting his arctic stare without flinching. What's the plan, CEO Graves? Order your goons to drag the bride back, mash her forehead into the marriage kowtow? Or rough me up right here? I tipped my chin toward the inconspicuous camera anchored in the corner of the salon. Forgot to mention, the house is wired. 360, high def, with audio. If you're dying to gift tomorrow's tabloids so. Me new material, be my guest. I've even drafted the headlines for you. Graves jilted at altar, throws tantrum, 6 guards on ex-fiancé? Or maybe dynasty dirt, stand-in bride refused to say I do, groom turns violent? Which one's splashier? Adrian's knuckles cracked, veins swelling like whipcords across the backs of his hands. His gaze bored into me, a blade hungry to flay. What the hell do you want? The words hissed through his clenched teeth. What do I want? I rose, walked up, and tilted my head back to meet his eyes. The face that once made my heart somersault now only turned my stomach. Adrian, that's my line. You orchestrated our meeting, played devoted lover for 3 whole years, and cast me as the understudy for your dead goddess, petted me, pacified me, while all you saw was her shadow. Now the script's shredded and the audience is booing. Instead of falling to your knees to beg forgiveness, you barge in here with muscle and threaten me into finishing the show? Do I look like I was born gullible, doomed to dance in your palms forever? My voice stayed low, but every syllable rang like a gavel in the cavernous room. Adrian's expression cycled through rage, mortification, and the raw panic of a man stripped bare. That message was forged. Someone's trying to sabotage. He was still grasping, tone already softer. Vivian, what I feel for you is real. Julia. I cut him off, enunciating the name. Adrian froze mid-breath. Every syllable jammed in his throat. His pupils shrank to pinpricks, every last trace of color deserted his face. He looked more wrecked than if I'd public slapped him. You. He swallowed, shock and a flicker of fear swirling in his eyes. How I found out is irrelevant. I sneered, snatching the beige folder from the coffee table and fluttering it under his chin. What matters is this, Adrian. The keepsake from your study drawer. Password, Julia's birthday. Correct? The instant he spotted the folder his mask vaporized. He lunged. To seize it. I'd anticipated him. I lurched back and hugged the file to my chest. Don't touch me. I snapped. His hand froze mid-reach. Adrian, I said, watching the last vestige of color leach from his face, we're done. Take your lackeys and get out of my house, now. Or I'll gladly donate this great love, and every last scrap of intel on your moonlit goddess, to the press, or to whoever's trying to unseat your father, Chairman. I'm sure they'd adore a front-page exposé on the Crown Prince's undying devotion. Adrian swayed on his feet. His stare slid from shock, to fury, to a bottomless, murderous chill. Vivian, he rasped, the words glacial, you're playing with fire. Fire? I met his gaze, unflinching. The match was struck the instant you decided I was your stand-in. I'm simply stoking the flames. Let's see who ends up ashes. We stood locked in silence, the air crystallizing around us. Even the bodyguards sensed the tripwire tension, muscles coiled. Seconds stretched like pulled taffy. At last Adrian's eyes slammed shut. When they snapped open again, every shard of emotion had been welded into cold steel. Fine. A corpse-thin smile carved his mouth. Vivian, I underestimated you. We'll finish this later. He spun away, trench coat flaring, violence clinging to every stride. His guards fell in behind. The front door thundered shut, crystal chandeliers quivering in its wake. I collapsed onto the sofa, every ounce of fight evaporating. My back was soaked, adrenaline had been bleeding out of me in cold rivulets. I knew. This was only the opening salvo. The war with Adrian had officially begun. And he would never call a truce. Neither would the Graves dynasty. I locked the gates of Seaview and disappeared for days. Phone off, blinds drawn, the world muted. Every 24 hours a single encrypted line from my father pinged through, *safe. Breathe outside, Riverdale must have been convulsing. The scandal of the decade, runaway bride public slapping a Dryan, couldn't be smothered. The upper crust is a fishbowl, a pebble creates a tsunami. Especially when the pebble lands on the Graves' gilded head. Even though, technically, I was the one wearing the horns. But truth is a weak lobbyist. Public opinion courts the biggest checkbook, Adrian's, in this case. My father stood in the line of fire. Graves' elders, boardroom cronies, and family friends circled with bribes, threats, friendly warnings. His phone melted. Newly penned deals were mysteriously shelved. When he finally smuggled a call through a burner, he laughed it off. Don't worry, kiddo, your old man's got hide like Kevlar. Showing the estate to buyers, couple lowballs, one solid cash offer under market, but quick cash is king right now. I understood, he was liquidating at Mach speed, building me an escape fund. Our prenup addendum was my bulletproof vest. I emailed the scanned pages to attorney Zhang. He FaceTimed me back, gaping. Mercer, this contract, it's a flamethrower in your hands. If we establish Graves' fraud, especially emotional deceit, substituting you for a dead woman, the clauses entitle you to keep every premarital asset you possess and sue him for punitive damages in the 8-figure range. Evidence? I arched a brow. The treasure chest I swiped from his study, will that do? Zhang's eyes gleamed. Physical proof is gold. Photos, documents, enough to demonstrate intent. Add the wedding day spectacle. Eyewitnesses may cave under Graves' pressure, but whoever sent you that text, if we can coax her onto the stand, Chloe? I shook my head. She'd rather watch us both burn. But she's not entirely useless. I instructed Zhang to file the papers yesterday. Meanwhile, I scoured every trace of Adrian from the estate, his custom suits, limited edition colognes, the tacky $1 million baubles he'd gift-wrapped with lies. I shoved them all into a storage tomb, lock clicked, sight banished. While clearing the study, I noticed the biometric safe sat crooked. Behind it, wedged against the drywall, a tiny encrypted drive winked at me. Hidden so carefully my gut screamed jackpot. I couriered the drive to a college friend, white hat hacker, absolutely discreet. When the password cracked, the file sucked the air from my lungs. No Julia photos here. Instead, core PLs of Graves' flagship projects, covert off-books cash channels, backdated phantom invoices, and several sets of dual contracts, one set for the IRS, one set for no one's eyes, all signed by Adrian. My fiancé was embezzling through charity shells. Did Chairman know? This drive was a suitcase nuke beside the Julia pictures. I cloned it, sealed the original back into its wall cave, and slept for 4 straight hours, the first real sleep since the altar. The counterstrike landed on the 5th morning. A one-punch headline detonated across Riverdale social feeds. Hashtag socialite bride cheated before vows, slapped groom at altar. Hashtag the damning slideshow. Photo 1, 3 days pre-wedding, me alone at a hip cafe, laughing across the table at a blurred male profile, only his elegant fingers visible. Photo 2, wedding day, hotel service entrance, me apparently stuffing a wad of cash into a bellhop's hand, actually retrieving my dropped bouquet. Photo 3, the money shot, my public slap, my face twisted by angle into something grotesque, Adrian's jaw slack with humiliation. The article, penned by a day-old gossip account, painted me a nymphomaniac gold digger who panicked when her side piece tried to crash the ceremony, then assaulted the blameless groom to mask her guilt. Shares multiplied like bacteria, every comment viler than the last. Bitch of the year, poor Adrian. Thought she looked pure, total skank. Daddy should have taught her to keep her knees together. Price haggled up, side hustle went sideways, lol. Within minutes burner phones buzzed with threats. Mom's Pilates studio was once starred into oblivion. Dad's company website crashed under a DDoS hate swarm. Adrian had yanked the narrative by the throat, crucified me on the scarlet letter, and crowned himself the broken-hearted prince. Public tide roared to his side. I stared at the sludge until my retinas burned, fury icing into pure, surgical calm. Adrian, you want better warfare? Fine, gloves off. I logged into a tiny Twitter alt, my college diary, known only to vanished dorm friends. Years ago I'd posted a throwaway thread about a disastrous art gallery date when a clumsy guy spilled champagne on my white dress. Adrian had commented underneath, sorry, watching you fix your hem reminded me of someone I lost. Got dizzy. I'd naively replied, no worries. Being remembered is sweet. Timestamped. Archived. A needle hiding in digital hay. I screenshot the entire exchange. Next I opened the clone drive, located Graves' annual grant to a pediatric cardiac unit, Adrian's signature, same month as our first date. I black-tipped anything traceable. Then I dug out the original text Chloe had fired at me on my wedding morning, plus screen captures of her kid brother's $1 million casino markers in Macau, timestamped 2 days earlier. I composed a single post, hashtag about my pre-wedding affair and that slap hashtag hi. I'm Vivian, the cheating bride who public slapped the groom. Sorry for taking up public bandwidth, but some things have to be said. 1. On the cheating photos, photo 1, the man across the cafe is my therapist. Pre-wedding anxiety, professional help, 100% legal. Photo 2, the hotel bellhop simply picked up my bouquet after I dropped it. Hotel security footage already filed with the police and my attorney. Anyone who spread the lie can see me in court. 2. On that public slap, see photo 3, Adrian's thinking of the old friend comment from 3 years ago, timestamped and screenshotted, and photo 4, the Graves Foundation board resolution funding the cardiac project, his signature and the date are crystal clear. He married me only because my profile resembles his dead first love. D. Julia. 3 years of devotion, smoke and mirrors. I found out at the altar, lost control, and hit him. I own it. That slap was earned, and I delivered it. 3. On the tip-off, photo 5 is the original text from my bestie of 10 years, Chloe. Motive? Check photo 6, her little brother at an offshore casino. Chloe, did you cover the tracks of the company money you siphoned to pay his debts? Lastly, Adrian. Using the charity you set up to heal your white moon as proof of love for the stand-in? That's some twisted devotion. Hired trolls to drown me in filth and kneecap me with public opinion? Sorry. I flipped the table, now nobody gets to eat. I quit the role of substitute. See you in court. Post finished. Wording checked. Nothing inflammatory, just facts, neat and sourced. Click. Sent. The instant the long-form tweet went live, I shut the laptop. The world went quiet. I already knew what kind of hurricane would break loose. I didn't need to watch. I only had to wait, for the people who were supposed to come, and for my nuclear warhead to detonate on schedule. The first meltdown was Chloe's. Within 30 minutes my phone rang, my old number she somehow found, forwarded to the new one she didn't have. Her voice was shrill, on the edge of cracking. Vivian. Are you insane? Why did you expose my brother? Where did you get those pictures? You're driving me to my death. I was wrong. Viv. Really wrong. I shouldn't have texted you. Jealousy messed with my head. It was Adrian. He hinted that once you knew the truth you'd leave him. He said he was sick of playing stand-in. He wanted rid of you. So I shut it. I cut off her hysterics, ice in my throat. Chloe, I gave you a chance to keep your mouth shut. Now it's too late. Wait for the prosecutor's subpoena for embezzlement. As for your brother, if they break his fingers or legs because he can't pay, that's karma. Save yourself. I hung up and blocked her, leaving her screams to dissolve into dead air. The second visitor was Adrian himself. He stormed Seaview, no bodyguards this time, just him. The pounding on the door felt like he meant to tear the building down. Vivian. Open up. Face me and explain. I strolled to the door and studied him through the peephole. His hair was wild, eyes bloodshot, suit rumpled, no trace of the usual Graves air composure. A cornered animal. Graves, may I help you? I asked through the panel, voice calm. Delete that tweet, now, he barked, voice ragged. And those screenshots. What are you trying to do, ruin me? Ruin you? I laughed softly. Adrian, you tried to ruin me first with that gutter-level smear campaign. I'm simply defending myself. Self-defense? He punched the heavy panel as if it were a joke. Vivian, you have any idea what that tweet just did? Graves' stock is in free fall. The board won't stop calling. My father's in the hospital from the shock. That's a Graves family problem, I said, unmoved. Not mine. Not yours? His voice shot up, dripping crazed hatred. Vivian, you're ruthless. Absolutely ruthless. Fine. You want war? I'll give you war. You think a handful of photos can topple me? Dream on. That prenup addendum? I can sue you for extortion. Those pictures and files? I'll swear you stole trade secrets, illegal entry. And that hard drive. His voice dropped to a venomous whisper. Vivian, hand it over. That thing isn't for you. Keep it and you'll burn, no one will find your ashes. The hard drive. He definitely knew, and feared it. My heart skipped, but my tone stayed flat. What drive? I'm afraid I don't follow, Graves. Cut the act. He grated. I know exactly what's missing from my study. Give it back or what? I cut in, voice frosting over. Adrian, let me give you a friendly reminder. Leave. Right now. Stay out of my sight. If you come near me again, or stir another ripple online, I guarantee the contents of the drive hidden behind your safe will land on the desks of the Economic Crimes Unit and the IRS Audit Division tomorrow morning, with copies for chairman and every Graves board member. Tell me, who burns first, you or I? Silence slammed down. No more pounding, no more ragged breathing, only suffocating quiet. A full minute passed before he spoke again, hoarse, defeated, and frightened. Vivian. My name scraped out of him like gravel. You win. Name your price. At last. I cracked the door a finger's width and regarded the wreck of a man on the threshold. Simple, I enunciated. 1. Issue an immediate, public clarification on every major platform admitting the wedding day cheating story was malicious slander, apologize to me and my family, and guarantee zero further harassment, threats, or online attacks. 2. Sign the divorce settlement. Deed to Seaview, already sold, proceeds to me, plus the mental anguish compensation in the prenup addendum, wired in full. 3. I paused, watched him tense. Double the HeartCare Children's congenital program budget under the graves for the next 3 years. Adrian's head snapped up, eyes blazing. You, what, reluctant to use the shrine you built for your white moon to save living kids? I mocked. His face cycled through rage and dread. Finally his shoulders sagged, spine hollowed. Done. The word clawed its way out, soaked in humiliation. All of it. 3 days later the Graves official account, and Adrian's personal handle, released a lawyer-polished apology and clarification. They confessed the cheating smear was manufactured, apologized, and swore off further attacks. Public opinion flipped again. Doubt lingered, but the current had shifted. My comment section, once a cesspool, began filling with sane voices and cheers. Holy hell, plot twist. Turns out the prince is the cheat who keeps a dead ex in his heart. Married a stand-in then framed her? Adrian's scum level is astronomical. Stand with Vivian. Slap was righteous. Trash deserves to wake up. She doubled the charity budget, queen move. Using the jerk's money to save kids, epic. Attorney Jean delivered 2 executed documents, the divorce settlement and Adrian's statement relinquishing Seaview and authorizing the payout. A foundation resolution doubling the HeartCare grant was appended. Mercer, Adrian, bled out this time, Sarah said, adjusting his glasses. The compensation is in your account. Seaview buyer paid in full, closing done. Grave stock is hemorrhaging, the board is furious. Rumor says when chairman was discharged he dragged Adrian to the family compound for a scolding that nearly turned into corporal punishment. His position, wobbling. Regarding Chloe, he continued, embezzlement evidence is rock solid, the company has formally indicted her. Her brothers disappeared from that casino, odds aren't good. I listened, unmoved. You plant what you reap. The drive? Sarah asked quietly. Adrian sighed, relax, I said. If he and the chairman behave, that warhead stays silent, forever. If they don't. I smiled and left the rest unsaid. Jean nodded. Understood. I'll keep watching. Dust settled. Dad transferred the sale proceeds and the payout, so many zeros they blurred. 3 years of youth and a broken heart, traded for the nerve to flip the table and snatch back my name. So, kid, what now? Dad asked, lighter than I'd heard him in years. Now? I stared at the cloudless sky beyond the window. Leave first. Anywhere. Somewhere no one knows me. Let the sun in. Dry the mold off my heart. A month later I checked into a guest house on the shore of Lake Erie. Days were simple. Wake when I please, sun on the terrace, watch gulls skate the water. Toss a frisbee for the innkeeper's border collie, Sage. Phone stays off, a new number calls my parents now and then. News about Adrian and Chloe drifts in like lake mist, Adrian on leave, pushed from core decisions, Graves hemorrhaging trust. Chloe's trial looming, her brother vanished. None of it touches me. One afternoon the sun is perfect. I lie on a CK chair, sunglasses on, half asleep. Sage drops a slobbery frisbee on my lap, nosing my hand. I laugh, hurl the disc, he bolts after it like gold lightning. My phone buzzes, Dad. One line, kid, Graves HeartCare's first 7 babies, all successful surgeries. Just hit the news. Lake wind, smelling of sun and water, brushes my face, gentle as a forgiving slap. I lift my hand against the glare. Sunlight turns my fingers almost transparent. Clean.